And please remember that he offered me a job because, not just because of my skills, not just because he saw my value, but because he needed a person of color in the office to bring in more clients. Riddle me this, please. This is the story of why it is so important to trust your gut and to follow your own path. This is for those of you who are currently stuck in your life. You feel like you have no sense of direction. You don't know what career path you want to go down. You just left school, you just left university, you've just left your job, and you're like, what do I do now? I'm going to be telling you guys a quick little story of how I discovered my own path and how I'm working the job of my dreams, working with the brands of my dreams, and living the life that I know I've always deserved. When I was in school, I was a very active child and I was very, very creative. I always knew that I wanted to do something creative. I just didn't know what job exactly I wanted to get into. And that was until we got to about year 10. If you're from the UK, basically you go on a 2-week work placement and you get to pick which job you want to do, and you work there for 2 weeks. It's basically like work experience. I wanted to go to work in a local cafe because it was safe, because I knew the cafe, because all I had to do was make coffee for people, serve people. It's really simple. So I wanted to work there initially. But then my sister came to me and was like, no, you need a proper job. You need to work in a proper environment so you can get to know, the proper work environment that you're going to be working in when you leave school. So I was like, okay. I managed to get a work placement at a really, really big law firm. And I didn't want to do it initially because I was scared. I didn't want to step out my comfort zone, and I didn't want to do something that I didn't know. I really like to stick within what you know. And I feel like the thing with humans is that we don't like to step out of our comfort zone, and a comfort zone is a man-made thing. Comfort zones don't exist. Your comfort zone is, in my opinion, a comfort zone restricts you from exploring more and from getting to know the world more. So when we say it's out of our comfort zone, we just don't want to try it because we're scared of the unknown. We don't know what it is. We don't even want to attempt to put ourselves in any sort of danger, which is why we stick within our comfort zone. So for me, this was far out of my comfort zone. I did not want to do it. I didn't want to go, but I said, okay, it's just for 2 weeks. Let's go in. Let's see what it's like. So then it got to the time for me to do the work placement, and I was really excited because it was a really big law firm in Bank in London. Meant that I had to go out and do my shopping and get some professional clothes. I had to do my hair properly, and I was really, really nervous, you guys. I was really, really nervous. So then the day came where it was my first day of work experience. I was really excited. I got on the train with my big backpack and I went to Bank. If you don't know Bank in London, it is just a place where all the banks are, where all the buildings are, where all the offices are, and it's really, in my opinion, scary place because it's just full of angry people who have to wake up at 6 in the morning every single day and go to a job they don't like, but that's just my opinion. So I got up, I went on the train, and I stopped in front of this huge building. It was like 1,000,000 floors, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I even at the right place? I gave the person who was in charge of me a call, and she was like, yes, that's the right building, let me come down and get you. So let's just keep in mind, prior me getting this work experience job, I've always had a very good telephone voice. You know the voice when you're on the telephone with someone, you sound very professional, that type of voice. My voice, growing up, I was always told that I was very posh, that I had a white voice, and in my opinion, that got me a lot of things that it wouldn't have if I didn't speak the way that I spoke. So because I sounded so posh, in my opinion, that's just being well-spoken. That's not being posh, that's just, you're well-spoken, and I had a really good telephone voice. That is what landed me this really high up job role. They were not accepting any students. It was literally a place full of quintessentially British people. I was the only person of color in the office. Anyway, so I got to the office, I'm waiting at the front desk. I'm like, hi, my name's Jessiara. I'm here from so-and-so school, and I'm here for the work experience. And the 2 women at the desk took one look at me, like, look up and down, and they were like, you're here for what? And I was like, I'm here for the work placement. My name's Jessiara. I called on the phone. I spoke to you on the phone because I recognized a woman's voice, and she was like, oh, Jessiara, okay, let me go up and get my boss. So then she called someone on the phone. She's like, yeah, Jessiara's here, but immediately the tone changed. And I was just like, okay, I understand. I was like, I completely get it. Bearing in mind, I done my hair. I straightened my hair for this job. Like, I pressed my hair for this job. If you don't know, I've got 4C hair. I've got thick hair. When I was in school, I used to put my hair in slick buns and little puff. But for this job, I pressed my hair, and it took me hours the night before to do it. My aunt helped me do it. And I done this solely because my family was telling me, if your hair's not a certain way, they're not gonna treat you properly. That's what everyone told me when I told them I was getting this job, and I completely agree. Well, the person that was in charge of me came downstairs to collect me, then I go up 1,000,000 floors. It felt like I was in the elevator for years. We get to the very top floor. It's facing the whole of London. You can see the Gherkin, you can see the London Eye. It's gorgeous view. I would have loved, you know, to have an office there, but whatever. The doors open to, you just see a whole survey of desks, and it just looks so depressing the second you walked out the elevator. So I walk out the elevator, as soon as I step out, everyone's staring at me. Bearing in mind there's like 100 employees just in that little section. There was more. It was a really, really big law firm. So I open the doors, I'm walking, I'm waiting for the person to come and collect me, and then the person who's supposed to collect me is like, "You're Jessiara?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm Jessiara." And then he goes, "Nice to meet you, Jess." And I was like, oh my goodness. The second that occurred, I knew it was not for me. So then I'm there waiting for the boss, for the big guy to come and see me. And all you hear is him screaming down someone on the phone. It literally is like a scene out of a movie. It's like, imagine this thin alleyway with desks each side. It's just a little alleyway dividing up to the different desks, yeah? And then I just see him with an assistant running behind him. He's on the phone with a coffee in his hand like, "Da-da-da, tell this person this, tell this person that. No, we didn't make that much money. No, send him the money. No." It was literally like a scene out of a movie. He's walking towards me. I'm there holding my books, holding my big, big rucksack. So nervous because he's the boss. He's the boss. So I was really, really scared. He gets to me, he stops in front of me, and he goes, "You, come with me." And I was like, okay, come with him. I dropped my school bag literally just right next to someone's desk. I'm running after him, and then we go in this big boardroom. You guys know those massive tables. Imagine like a really, really, like a rich family, and the mom and dad have dinner opposite ends of the table. That's what it was giving. So he was at one end, I was at the other end, and the tension was so thick in the air because I knew what he was thinking about me. I was the only person of color in that office. The only person of color. There was a mixed race girl down at the bottom of the reception, but I don't think she was a part of the business. This guy fully begins to talk to me about how he's always wanted an ethnic person working for him in his law firm. He's always wanted a person of color because it will bring in more clients, and I quote. And I could not believe what I was hearing as a 15, 16-year-old. I just wanted the job because it was a really good job. And anyway, long story short, this guy talked my ear off for about an hour, no work. And then at the end of it, he was like, "You're gonna be taking notes in meetings. You're going to be writing down my emails. Whenever I have a call, you have to take my call." Essentially doing more than what I was required to do, because prior I was sent a list of things that I would have to do for the job, so I was preparing myself. I was essentially doing a proper job. I was this man's assistant 2 weeks straight. And guess what, you guys? At the end of this work placement, bearing in mind, they loved me by the end of it. I made a banging cup of coffee. I made a banging cup of tea. I was a great conversationist. I'm really good on the phone, so my phone, I was bringing in clients left, right, and center, and I was not getting paid for this because it was a 2-week school work placement. So by the end of this, he offered me a job. He said, "You've, you know, surpassed my expectations. You were amazing. You're only 15, 16 years old. Would you like to have a job at this law firm?" Bearing in mind, the pay grade that they were going to pay me was a salary that of someone who had a degree. I had no prior experience. I didn't even get my GCSEs, you guys. I didn't even get any qualifications, but he offered me a job because of my skills and because of how naturally talented I was. But guess what? I turned down the job. I said, "No, thank you, sir. I really, really, really appreciate, you know, the offer, and thank you so much for all that you've done, but no, thank you. I do not want to work for a law firm who said that they're only bringing in people of color to bring in more clients." And I quote. And I couldn't believe that outwardly said it. Well, I can believe that he outwardly said it to me, because I feel like he didn't expect me to fight back. He didn't expect me to speak up for myself and to be so high quality and high spoken for such a young teenager. My point of this story is that from that point, if I accepted that job, if I took that job role, I would not be sat here in this beautiful studio shooting content and, you know, picking my own schedule. I pick my own schedule. If I want to wake up one day and sleep in bed all day, I can. If I want to take a trip for 2 weeks, I can. I don't have to answer to anyone. And since that day, I really noticed the value of myself, because he is a very, very high up person. Like, still to this day, I think I'm still like connected with him on LinkedIn. So hopefully he doesn't see this video. And if he does, I hope you're well. Hey, I want you guys to remember that when you're going on this path that is called life, please remember your values. Please remember that you are worth every penny that there is in this world. There's enough money to go around in this world. And I do not want you guys to be stressed about not getting a certain job or not being accepted for a particular thing doubting, or if they choose someone else and they don't choose you, that you're doubting yourself, you're questioning yourself, please remember that everything happens for a reason. If you do not get accepted to a certain thing, it happens for a reason. It's because something else is waiting for you on the other side that is meant for you. So do not stress yourself, do not doubt yourself, don't question yourself about why this, why that. Just let things happen. And I know that's easier said than done. You have to go through a lot of heartbreak and a lot of failure and a lot of no's and even a lot of just rejection to get to where you're meant to be. And I know for me, after I said no to that job, everyone in my life hated me. When I told everyone that I was accepted and that they offered me a job at this really, really big law firm, and I told everyone I said no, people were ripping me to shreds. They were like, I would have taken the job, forward me the details. People in school, you know, when I went back to school and I told them I was offered this job, everyone, teachers, my head teacher came to me, was like, why did you not accept this job? This job offer is amazing. And I said, because I know my worth. I didn't accept the job because I would have been walked all over on. I would have been stepped on. I would have been told what to do. I would have been bossed around. And on top of that, bearing in mind, I would have been the only person of color in the office. And please remember that he offered me a job because, not just because of my skills, not just because he saw my value, but because he needed a person of color in the office to bring in more clients. Riddle me this, please. I don't understand why you have to prove yourself to then be accepted by whoever. Like, you don't have to prove yourself and prove your worth and prove your talent and prove your skills to be accepted in a particular group or a particular circle. That's just ridiculous. Okay, so I want you guys to remember from this day forward, if rejection comes your way, it comes your way for a reason, and that something else is waiting for you somewhere far, somewhere near. And I know for me, currently in my current circumstances, my health is all over the place, and I have days where I question, why me? Why is this happening to me? You know, I am a good person. What have I done wrong? Who did I do dirty for this to happen to me? But then I remember that things happen for a reason. This is making me a stronger person. It's making me a better person. And it's making me reflect on my life choices and going forward the type of person I want to be. So I tell you guys this story just to remind you that everything happens for a reason. And sometimes you may need to say no, and people will tell you no for a reason. And I know it's easier said than done. It's really difficult, especially in this world that we call life, but it happens, and it happens to the better of us. So I know everyone watching this video, you are destined for more. You are amazing, you are beautiful, and I wish you guys an amazing day. I hope this video has helped someone. Please leave me some comments down below of if you relate to my experience, if you have a similar experience. I would love to hear your stories. But that is all for this video. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to check out these videos on the screen if you're interested in these type of topics. Follow me on my other social medias and subscribe to my channel if you like this type of content. All right, you guys, have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one.